Mini episode 1452 of the FDH Lounge is brought to you by Sportsology, delivering unconventional columns and webcasts about sports, TV, music, movies, and more. Follow them on the web at sportsology.com.
The FDH Lounge. You'll want to schedule your life around it.
A long time ago, on a gloomy, wet Cleveland spring night, two men stand alone amidst the late-night drizzle. Their voices echo across the vacant station parking lot as they debate the merits of the great American radio show that have been missing for far too long. On that night, an idea was born. That idea became the FDH Lounge. Welcome to the FDH Lounge.
Hello and welcome to FDH Lounge mini episode 1452, our Billions episode 6.7 preview. I'm FDH Managing Partner Rick Morris here with our top 5 notes of interest heading into this season's 7th episode. Number 5, Chuck's new and more experienced sidekick bests his former one. Just a week after we complained that Billions followed up an episode for the ages with one that felt phoned in, the magic was back in the last episode when Chuck's old and new consiglieres had a brief, subtle meeting that ended up giving the AG's office a tip on which way to attack. Humiliated, Sacker tried to resign before admitting that she'd never really lost at anything before. Something tells us that she's going to find a way to wipe that smug look off of Chuck's face. Number 4, Prince finds his heir apparent. In the long run, this is probably the most important of these 5 notes, but the how and why of this development is going to take a while to play out, and there may not even be any forward momentum with it in the next episode. Because of the reasons for opposing Philip's involvement that Scooter had, he still may not be appeased by the gilded crown slated to becoming his nephew's way. And there's still a lot of open road until this transition really comes into sight. Number 3. Taylor executes ruthlessness on another one-time loved one. With the audience having recently learned Taylor's true motivation to earn enough money to truly change the world, the radical difference between professed progressive motives and rapacious capitalistic execution makes sense, at least as an internal rationalization, and yet, being called on soullessness wounds Taylor every time it happens. That's a development worth monitoring. Number 2, in pursuit of those subway cars, Prince opens up the Prince list. That train fixation of Mike's was pretty weird, unless you believe that he really thought that the concept of this permanent upgrade in public transportation would really sway public opinion. At any rate, the idea was to restrict the new investors to those demonstrably trustworthy and respectable. Well, that was the idea anyway. Number 1, Chuck turns Prince's beloved alma mater into his Trojan horse. While Chuck would never admit that he engaged in blackmail, that's exactly what happened when he got some dirt on the Indiana A&M president. And now he has his spy right inside Prince Capital, reporting back all of the moves that happened, and he chose somebody that Prince would never ever suspect. The fact that this development comes disguised in the form of a gigantic victory for the firm added a powerful extra wallop to the final triumphant announcement. We're at the halfway point of the first post-act season, and on balance, Billions has thrived and been refreshed by the new dynamic. Here's hoping that the second half of the season is at least as strong. Thank you for joining us for this mini episode of the FDH Lounge.